What's up, everyone? My name's Josh Reese. I'm a fourth-year optometry student at the Arizona College of Optometry, and today I wanted to make a short little video about what to do if you didn't pass your boards for the National Boards and Examiners of Optometry in the United States. This last week, the third years and people who retook the exam in March got their scores back, and although many are happy, a lot of you might be a little bit disappointed in your scores and might not have passed like you wish you would have. This video is going to go over your options that you have if you didn't pass boards, but I wanted to start this off by saying there's probably a lot more people who understand where you're coming from. A lot of people are in the same situation where they didn't pass boards, and I know a lot of role models in my optometric career who have had to take boards multiple times. So you're not alone. We can do this together and we can support each other. If you don't end up passing boards, the first option is doing a residency. Now that might sound weird to say that, if you didn't pass boards, you should try to consider a residency. But a residency, a lot of residencies, I should say, do something with conditional residency. And so what that means is you can go to the residency, trained and get paid like a resident, but with the caveat that at the end of it, if you don't end up passing boards in that year, that you just wouldn't get the title of residency trained. You wouldn't get the certificate, but you'd still get all the pay and the training. That is probably a great option for a lot of you. Instead of spending a year just studying, being able to advance and further your career while studying. And a secret is that now that board scores are kind of down, residency applications are down too. And so there's a lot of really, really, really good residency slots that are still unfilled. And actually the post-match ends in June. And so there's still time for you to be able to consider doing residency this year if you still haven't passed boards. That is the first option, is consider maybe doing a residency. Now, the second thing I want you to consider if you didn't pass boards is a non-clinical optometric career. So that just means any optometry career path that is not seeing patients. Now, that might be counterintuitive because that's kind of what our degree is, but there's a lot of companies that hire optometrists even if you're not clinically based, you're just a non-clinical optometric career. There's a lot of them in careers like research with companies, or in industry like your J&Js, your Alcons, and also in management for a lot of private practices, or the big corporate offices. A lot of times they can hire good peer-to-peer optometrists that aren't seeing patients. And things like, other companies like pharmacies, or insurance companies, and actually law groups also need consultants. And so you can actually get a lot of work as an optometrist without seeing patients by being contracted out by these different businesses or hired by these different businesses to do work for them. And now that work is mostly, consulting, or, giving professional advice, but it's not seeing patients. So you don't need to pass your boards to be able to do them. Other non-clinical careers in optometry do include things like academia. I actually know a couple of professors who don't have optometry, who haven't passed boards in the United States, who teach at optometry schools. So, depending on the school, you might be able to do maybe further education and get like another master's or PhD, or if you do the conditional residency, there might be a career path into academia. And there also is career paths in private practice ownership. So even though you're not practicing optometry, you can still go into owning an optometric business, or an optical, or vision therapy. There's a bunch of things that you can do to help further eye care without seeing patients. And really, that's the only thing that NBEO is holding you back from, is getting your state license and seeing patients. Now, the third thing I want you to consider if you didn't pass your optometry boards in the United States is international optometry. Now, international optometry you might not think of it, but it actually is a great career path for a lot of people. I actually know someone who didn't pass boards in the United States and is now working as an optometrist in the Caribbean, and he likes it so much he's probably going to stay there. And so your career might take you outside of the United States, and a lot of people love that. OECB in Canada, OEBC in Canada, they, don't require you in a lot of provinces or in any province to pass NBEO to be able to see patients in Canada. And so that's a great option. A lot of times you just need to graduate from an accredited institution, which you can do without passing boards. A lot of international optometry careers don't actually have as wide of a scope of practice that the United States does. So you might, be practicing a little bit differently, but a lot of them are actually paid really well. You can practice in any other English speaking country or other country if you speak another language. And, Australia, the United Kingdom, Belize, all of those countries need optometrists, and international optometry might be a great option for you as well. Now, the last option, which is actually the most popular, I see a lot of people doing it, is what's called a Supertech. And so while you're waiting to pass your optometry boards, you can work in the United States for a private practice or any other practice as a tech, but you're an optometrist, except for you haven't passed your boards. And so the doctor you're working under as their technician will let you just have some freedoms, and they'll trust you more to do things like refraction or even diagnose, but you'd still be doing it as a technician. So they might, pay you a little bit more because you're worth more to the business, but they wouldn't pay you a full doctor's salary, and they'd still need to check off on your work because you wouldn't be signing the charts, they would. But working as a super tech until you pass your boards is also a good option and might, put your foot in the door for a lot of places that you could work after you pass boards as well. So thank you for watching this video. I know it's kind of a hard topic to touch on, but it's a reality for a lot of students. And, even if this video only helps 5-6 people, those 5-6 people, need to know that there's fulfilling careers in optometry, even if you don't end up passing your boards, which I know you will. You've got this. But we'll see you in the next video. Bye.